Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 43 of the Game Time Gents podcast. We have a little bit of an update for you. So, starting this week, we're going to be doing 2 shows a week. We're going to have our normal fantasy sports centered show that will be released on Wednesdays. But now also we're going to have a show coming out on Fridays. From feedback we've received from our listeners, aka our family and friends, we have decided that we are going to keep up with the more fun stuff that we've done over the off season, like collaborating with folks like Charisma, Jim Tasty, Beard and the Hair. And then we're also going to, keep playing those fun games. And then that's also where the drafts are going to be held as well. So the first show that comes out on Wednesdays, you can just expect really in-depth football talk. And then on Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern, you can expect some fun from us to kick off those Friday times. So, but as with that being said, it's all 3 of us here. Again, if you don't know us, I'm Nardi. This is Zoltowski and Fish. And they look way taller in their cameras right now.
I was like, why are you so low?
Really? It's all the veggies I've been eating. I've been growing. I'm actually 6'2" now.
Actually, you know what it is? I got new wheels on my chair. And they're much shorter than my other chair wheels.
You got spinners on them?
So now I have to
He's got the rims on them.
Yeah.
He's riding low.
So now my desk is like up here. So I just lowered it a little bit. But anyways, we're gonna kick off the sports show. We got some crazy news going on.
I got one thing real quick.
Sure, go for it.
It's July 1st. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Fish knows all about.
Oh yeah,
Bobby Bonilla.
My man's raking in the dough again.
Wildest deal in sports. Just had to mention it.
How much is he making this year?
Oh, it's the same. It's 1.192 million, I believe. It's 1.1 million.
He's played since 2035.
He's gonna be in his 70s. Yeah, he hasn't played since, I don't know, 99 maybe.
I tell you what, that's a hell of a retirement plan right there.
I mean, that agent should go down as top 5.
Yeah, good for that guy.
That's
incredible.
99 was the last time he played because they wanted to defer his contract.
That's crazy.
So 2035.
His contract's coming up though, right? It's like what, 2030 or something like that?
No, 2030. He's got 10 more years left. He's got
2035.
He's got another $11 million to make. He's going to be in his 70s, I think. 72.
Good for him, dude.
Talk about the best retirement plan money can buy.
Right. No, but I'm going to piggyback off that and actually talk about SGA's new contract. So SGA, they just won the NBA Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder. He won the finals. He won finals MVP, and now he has signed a 4-year Supermax extension. It's a $285 extension, making him have the richest annual salary for an NBA player ever. And I did a little breakdown. Wild. So he's going to make $71,250,000 per year. That's $868,902 per game. $217,225 per period. $18,102 per game minute and $301 per second per game second he's on the court.
You should have broke it down into how many free throws per game too.
Like Timothy Mozgov.
Each shot.
I
think his average. Didn't he win league MVP too?
I think so. Yeah.
Good for him, right? But we've seen this before where James Harden also would draw about 20 free throws a game. And everybody's like, oh, he's dropping 30, 45 points consistently. Well, 15, 20 of that's come from free throws. Not saying that's not part of the game, which is great for him. But, I mean, he had a hell of a year, right? Arguably an insane year. Won the chip, MVPs left and right. Is he worth $71 million a year? I don't think so. I think there's, to warrant that, I mean, that's like consistent MVPs, consistently dragging your team to the playoffs kind of thing. I don't know. It's a tough pill to swallow. That team is still so young, though, that they don't have to worry about, Chet or anybody else trying to get any max contracts in the next 2-3 years. So they can bide their time, which is good for them, right? Keep their roster young, keep their leader intact, make him happy, keep the rest of the team happy. But $71 million a year, that's that's nuts.
Is there a salary cap in basketball?
Crazy. I think that there is, but You got to keep in mind it's only 12 guys on a roster.
Yeah.
So,
right, so salary cap's $200 million. I mean, they could disperse this contract, like you said, over the next 4 years, backload it if they want, or front load it, and still stay within salary cap. So I don't know. That's a ballsy move, but I mean, kudos to them. But that's a lot of money, and we've seen these contracts happen before, and we've seen the productivity the next few years dips down. Right. That it's almost like that hunger to get that next chip, that next ring. Kind of goes down when you see, oh shit, just made $1 million this game. Cool, I'm just gonna chill out, get my 20 points, call it a day. So,
yeah, and forgive me if I'm wrong, and correct me in the comments, but I believe NBA salaries are all guaranteed, are they not?
They should be, yeah. I thought so.
I believe that they are. Yeah, I think you're right.
From what I've found, it looks like they are. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'm not sure.
No, there's some incentives.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, like Luguentz Dort for OKC.
Lou Dort.
His cap hit is $18,222,222, but there's $1 million of incentives in there.
Gotcha. Okay. And then,
but most of it's guaranteed. But like SGA's is all 38 million is guaranteed. Don't think this is updated quite yet, but
gotcha. And then Fish, I think you're the one that wrote this about Damian Lillard. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. It's kind of a surprise when I got that text message this morning that the Bucks decided to waive Damian Lillard his contract extension for $113 million and decided to give it to Miles Turner. Any basketball people out there remember Miles Turner?
Pacers.
Yep, it's a little bit of a shock. You think Dame time, he gets points, he does well. He hasn't really seen a lack of productivity when he plays, so it's interesting that they would say, nah, we're good. It seemed like Giannis took it like a complete shock. A lot of people are like, did they hit the wrong button? Did they send the wrong text? But yeah, Miles Turner ends up getting that contract extension for, I think it was 4 years, $113 million on top of that. So Dame is on the move. I mean, there's a lot of suitable candidates out there that could use a solid point guard, shooting guard.
Yeah.
And again, his productivity hasn't gone down at all. And honestly, he just makes people better around him, like a true point guard. So very interesting to kind of see. Obviously, the NBA Finals ended. So you got a couple months until, we start seeing other names being thrown out there if he signs elsewhere or anything like that. So it's very interesting.
Damon LeBron coming to Cleveland. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus. I got one piece I know I didn't put in the doc, but it popped in my head. So NHL draft happened this past weekend. The Ducks first round pick number 10, named Roger McQueen. After they drafted him, they flew him out to Disneyland to meet Lightning McQueen.
And he chose number
Donald
95.
Duck. And he chose number 95, and I think that's just super cool. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple heartfelt moments in the draft. A player that was drafted by the Islanders lost his mom to cancer and kissed the ribbon and pointed up when he was drafted. I think he was taken first overall. They had Johnny Hockey's wife come out to announce the Blue Jackets pick. But free agency started today. Nothing crazy over there, that I'm just kind of keeping an eye on. But I'm excited for hockey to start already, even though it just ended. And football's coming. I can't wait.
Yep, we're about
almost here.
A month and a half away from the first preseason game.
There's a football game this month in Ohio. It's the Hall of Fame game.
Is it
the 31st?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's coming up quick. But speaking of football, we do have some crazy football news. I don't know what's been in the water in Pittsburgh and Miami, but they have been making trades left and right. So the Steelers traded away 3-time Pro Bowl safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 7th-round pick for 3-time Pro Bowler Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith and a 2027 5th-round pick. So actually, I think I got those picks flipped. But anyways, Fitzpatrick's still young, 28 years old, goes back to Miami where he started his career. And then Jalen Ramsey's, he's aging. He's 30, but I think he's still pretty productive. Miami then went and made a trade to replace Jonnu, essentially, and brought Darren Waller out of retirement. 33-year-old Darren Waller from the Giants who's coming out of retirement. Miami gets Waller in a 2027 7th-round pick for a 2026 6th-round pick. So a lot of moving parts there. It's kind of funny, like the Steelers, the past couple moves that they've made other than Rodgers is they bring in a very good player and then they let a very good player go.
Mm-hmm.
Like you bring in a really elite or borderline elite corner in Jalen Ramsey and then you let a elite safety go. They did the same thing with DK Metcalf and then letting Pickens go. So really interesting there. But, in terms of fantasy impact, sorry, go ahead.
No, I like the, speaking of fantasy, Jonnu Smith last year was tight end 4.
Yeah.
And I know they have that other tight end.
Freiermuth.
What's his name? Yeah, Freiermuth, who wasn't half bad. I think, if he's somehow available, because he had 223 total points last year. The second half of the season, he was scoring over 15 a game.
Yeah.
I'd pick him up. I feel like you'll see probably a lot of 2 tight end sets out there, especially with Rodgers. I think they're just trying to give him more targets to throw the ball to as well. But you were saying, sorry for interrupting.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like for fantasy impact, Freiermuth's the biggest loser. Like,
yeah,
tight ends are really hard to come by in fantasy anyways. And then you've got a guy eating into your target share. So it's kind of like, I don't know if the Steelers will run many 2 tight end sets. They did last year somewhat with Freiermuth, and then they had that big tight end from Georgia that's a blocking tight end. But, in redraft leagues, I don't even know if he's rosterable anymore because Jonnu's just going to come in and take over, especially with the year he had last year.
I wouldn't think so. I think Freiermuth, unfortunately, I have him in a couple leagues, and he did fine. He got his ball, scored a couple times. It's just an unfortunate thing. John is probably going to do really, really well there. He did really well in Miami. The only thing, like, I'm okay with everything, like Steelers getting rid of Minka. It's just a Steeler thing to do. They get another diva type player in Jalen Ramsey, who is going to co-line with Darius Slay back there. And then you throw DK Metcalf in there. There's a lot of personality on that team already. And now we're just adding another one. We thought they got rid of Pickens because there's going to be a lot of headbutting. One, yada, yada, yada. They get rid of him. They pick up another diva corner who thinks that he's been the number 1 guy for the last 2 years. The only thing that doesn't make any sense, I don't know why Miami would reach out, is Darren Waller.
Yeah,
I can almost guarantee you that man he's been on his couch chilling, as he should.
He's been rapping.
But oh god, well, maybe that's why he's going back into football. It's just not panning out. But it's kind of shitty to say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and retire. Don't want to play with the Giants anymore. Team's ass, and then he goes, maybe I'll play one more year. One more year with a possible contender. I don't see a major impact there. They got a couple young guys at tight ends. They're a little smaller, about 6'3", 240. So I know one of them is more of a blocking tight end. The other one is first year. But I don't. I'm going to pick up Waller just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's a low risk, high reward. If he pops off to a strong hands back there, it might be able to ball. That offense gonna, accumulate some points again, put up another 70. They just weren't what they used to be offensively last year outside of a chain. So, fantasy wise, if Darren Waller is out there, which I can almost guarantee you he is in 99% of the leagues, if you got a free roster spot, pick him up. Worst comes to worst, you drop him if they cut him, right before the season starts. So, it's just an unusual thing out of all the tight ends. It, like Nutter said, dime a dozen. You go after Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Not like a Noah Gray or someone like that who's still young, who has played, who has showcased that he can do the job at a number 1 spot. But you go after the guy who's been out of commish for a year and a half. Didn't really prove anything outside of the 1 or 2 years they used with the Raiders. So it's just an interesting thing, but it's Miami for you, though. So.
Well, I was initially really excited after the Jonnu trade happened. I was like, Durham Smith time, let's go. Let's go. But then they kind of crush those dreams with Darren Waller coming in. But what we have for you next, we have our NFC West preview. So we're going to talk about the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Rams. We're going to talk about their, kind of how they did over last year, kind of go over some stats, some additions and subtractions to the roster. And then we're actually going to rank their rosters on who we think is going to be the best in the NFC West. So we have a tier list at the end of this. We have a short presentation, and then we will be done for this episode. So I'm going to switch the scene here, boys.
Switch it, dude.
Change it.
All right, and this is our NFC West preview. So first thing,
you've been killing it with the graphics there, bud.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Shout out Canva. We have our NFC West standings. The Rams won the division last year. Seattle Seahawks, same record, same division record, just one game short behind them. So they finished second, and then we had the Cardinals and the 49ers bringing up the third and the fourth picks there. This is one of the tightest divisions in football. I know we were all watching, week 16, 17, like who's going to be the one, the Rams or the Seahawks? So it was the Rams last year, and who'd they beat in the playoffs?
Not us.
Anybody?
Nobody. Oh no, the Vikings.
Yeah,
the 14 and 2 or 14-3 Vikings.
14-3. Yeah.
14-3. Yeah.
But then we have some notable transactions from the Rams. Some additions we have seen is, Devontae Adams has gone there. Poona Ford has gone. Coleman Shelton is back with the Rams. He was with them, I believe, his entire career except for last year when he played for the Bears. So, Devontae, 2-year, $44 million, $26 million guaranteed. Poona Ford is a really, really big investment for them because they have a really good front seven. He's 3 years, $27 million, $15.6 million guaranteed. And then let's talk about the smoking gun here in the room, the subtraction. They're losing Cooper Kupp. Now they did replace him with Devontae Adams, but I don't know, man. Cooper did seem lost last year in multiple games, so hopefully he's able to play well with the Seattle Seahawks, but I don't know. There was a couple times last year when he made Fantasy Zeros lists when we were going through that, and it's like, who did he piss off?
I don't know, but it was also early on too, because remember Puka didn't play for the first 7 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you figure, Cooper Kupp is a possession guy. He's going to go right back into it. Stafford's favorite target. They built a lot of chemistry, and then he was on it just a lot of things didn't make sense. It like you said, it seemed like he pissed somebody off in the front office. Was not getting the bulk of the share. Obviously, they had a good running game, so they kind of ran it more too. But something just wasn't clicking. Dropping easy balls, routes looked pretty, rough and stuff like that. So I don't know if he's still being plagued by that lingering injury he's had for the last 12 years. It seems like, or if it's something else. But I think the subtraction here with him gone, I think is no love lost. I think Devontae Adams will step in and do what his thing. He'll be able to control that ground a little bit more, bigger target, and then Puka will still be that possession guy who is tough as shit to bring down. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a huge subtraction. I think the fans will miss him because he's played there for so long. Outside of that, I don't think it's no love lost on that end.
Yeah, it didn't really surprise me when it happened, honestly. Especially, Puka's breakout rookie year, and then, he got hurt. Kupp gets hurt week 1 against the Lions, and, they still find some success without him. Plus, the Rams always do this weird thing where they start off just terrible and then somehow squeak into the playoffs at the end of the year.
And are
Like
hot.
every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are terrifying.
Yeah. And I think that's a little bit of the Matt Stafford effect, because he's just very resilient. Watched him play for years when he was in Detroit. But I don't know. Cooper Kupp doesn't really surprise me that much when he left.
Yeah, I think Devontae, for fantasy purposes, is probably going to eat more into Puka's target share than Cooper would have. Just because I think Devontae's got more in the tank left than Cooper Kupp does.
I agree with that. 100%. But Stafford loves slinging the ball around. I mean, he has no problem throwing it 35, 40 times a game, while Kyron Williams still gets 100 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, their defense is like you said, their front seven is insane.
Yeah.
They were terrifying in the playoffs. They're all relatively young. It's going to be a shootout. I mean, they're going to. I would project them still put up at least 25 points a game. It wouldn't surprise me if they put up more with how good that offense is, and we know what Stafford can do. So
yeah, Braden Fisk partnered with Poona Ford's going to be nasty, and then they have the defensive player of the year. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Jared Verse,
the rookie of the year.
The rookie of the year,
and the one that pissed off the entire city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, we got a ring, so it's crazy. And Quintanamo Bay got robbed, by the way, to let you know.
Yeah, true. And then we have the Rams' performance of 2024. We're just going to go over their rankings. So, pretty low rankings for the Rams, even though they squeaked into the playoffs. They ranked 20th in points, 17th in points allowed. Their rush yards allowed was pretty high, 2,210, with, if I do my math right, 280 of those being Saquon Barkley on 4 carries.
Yeah,
just 4 carries alone. Yeah, I think he popped off for 500 yards in both games, so not including playoffs.
Yeah, so you can see the slide. I mean, there's nothing great here for the Rams statistically wise last year. I think this is where the coaching factor comes in. Sean McVay is such a good coach. He's going to find a way to win a game. And then you see their offensive play call ratio as well. So the Rams did convert 51.39% of their red zone attempts for touchdowns last year. And then they called more pass plays than run plays by 55% to 44%. So I assume with the roster changes that they've made, you're going to see something similar, at least play call ratio wise. I know Kyron Williams was hurt a little bit last year, but I do think you're going to see a similar breakout. And then we can move on here to the Seahawks. So a lot of changes on this roster this year. You've got a lot of changes for the Seahawks. You've got Sam Darnold coming in, Cooper Kupp, as we talked about, coming in. Marquez Valdes-Scantling is also there now. I'm not sure how notable he is, but yeah, his name wouldn't fit in the text box. So I went with MVS. And then DeMarcus Lawrence, which I did not know he signed with the Seahawks. That's huge for them. They've been lacking a pass rusher forever, it seems like, since the Bennett brothers. Or the Bennett brother. And they did lose Geno, DK, Tyler Lockett. So that brings the question of, that's a lot of targets vacated for DK, for Tyler. And Cooper Kupp's not going to be the guy to completely bring those back.
Well, it's going to be JSN.
JSN is going to take a big step up this year, I think.
But it all comes down to how Darnold performs. I mean, we saw him last year with the Vikings, had this, breakout year. But then, look at his playoff performance, and he looked like his same old see and go self.
Yep.
Good for him to have the year he had. He got his bag. 55 million guaranteed. It's nothing to shake a stick at, and it's really a coin flip. Is he going to continue and what he did? What's his name over there in Minnesota? The quarterback whisperer.
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. Our KOC's, teaching's gonna stick with him. Is he gonna be able to continue this? If he does, Kupp's a good addition, even though he's aging, because he still is gonna draw defenders. JSN. They've got Kenny Walker back there. They've got Charbonnet back there. I think as long as Darnold can perform, the Seahawks are going to be a team to watch out for, at least offensively. Defensively, I'm not entirely too sure.
I think you're going to see a lot more 2 running back sets.
I hope so.
I think you're going to look at JSN. They're going to be like, okay. And JSN's very good, right? We know he's very good. He had a great breakout season. He's no Jay Jettis, though, right? Jay Jettis is a generational talent. Who's a freak. Who doesn't matter who lines up or how many tools on him. 80% of the times could come down to the ball. JSN is not that big physicality guy. He doesn't have the height or the strength. He's very good at route running, though. Okay, so you got to figure number 1 corner, probably shading over a little bit of a safety. this is all dependent on if Cooper Kupp can stay healthy, which we know it trending in the past is not the thing. So I think they're going to anticipate and say, okay, cool. Charbonnet, insanely great pass catcher in the back, and Kennedy Walker, they're like iffy on him. They're like, do we sign him to an extension? Is he worth it, or can we just try and trade him or dump him off to somebody else and get another young guy in there, or just have Charbonnet take over? I think JSN is going to get covered. He'll get his catches. He'll get his production, especially fantasy-wise. He'll be great. I think Sam Darnold will do fine. I think you're going to see a lot more two running back setup, where it's either going to be that RPO option or a quick little dump pass with either of them running either or slants across the middle and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot more little check-down dump passes with Sam Darnold to kind of get the momentum going, and then hit that long target for Cooper Kupp down if he's further on down the field, if he's playing still, or JSN over the middle at a deep post. It's a little different than having Jordan Addison down there, who's quick as shit, or Jay Jettis, who can also is very quick. I think Sam Darnold will do fine. I don't know if he'll have the same production that he did last year. I think he might have peaked on that one. So you'll see a lot more dump check passes down, especially the running backs trying to gain that momentum. Especially if Cooper Kupp's not playing, because who is their third? Who is their third receiver outside of MBS?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have Jake Bobo there, but he's never been.
There's no one else.
Yeah.
So if Kupp goes out, they're going to double team JSN. So you got to get something working. You got to play that opposite side of JSN, especially with the running backs pass catching wise. So I don't know. The subtractions, the DK one hurts. Sam Darnold would have been great with another big physical wide receiver. DK was not force-fed like a lot of his other big number ones, so it would have been nice to see him get that 8 to 12 target range per game and see what he could really do, especially with his size and stature. Tyler Lockett, he's a little too old, and Geno's a great play manager. He's not going to win you a title or get you too far out of the playoffs, so I don't know. It's a little iffy on the Seahawks end for me.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of increases in not only Charbonnet's running, but also Kenneth Walker's receiving. Like you said, you're going to see a lot of dump passes. Is Noah Fant still there, the tight end?
He's their starter, so
you'll probably see
he only had
an uptick for him
yards
too
last year.
Yeah. So you'll probably see an uptick for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to make some crazy trade.
You never know.
Well, keep in mind, also, football news-wise, Henry Ruggs is also possibly available. He has done his time and is eager to get back. He's eager to get back into the league. He is only 26 and has played 2 seasons with the Raiders before the incident. So he is still young enough, still quick enough. I mean, in prison, you figure that all he's been doing is working out. So might not be a bad opportunity for a team who needs a third receiver or a fourth receiver to then take a shot on Henry Ruggs and say, hey, this is your redemption shot. Are you hungry for it? Let's see what you got. Could be a big upside, low risk, high reward again for some of these teams. And the Seahawks might be a good possibility with that. So
interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about
that's a good shot. I forgot about that. I do remember seeing back when that was big news there that he had come out and made his apology and talked about how he's just been doing nothing but working out and trying to go back to the NFL. I think we've seen guys come out of prison and go back to the NFL before, if I'm not mistaken.
Not Justin Blackmon. That guy's a scumbag.
Michael Vick.
Yeah,
he did his time.
He did his time.
He was a great
Came back and you played well.
He did really well.
He did.
Yeah, this is the Seahawks' performance from last year. The 2 things that really stick out to me the most is both their offensive play call ratio. With 2 amazing running backs like Charbonnet and Walker, they only ran the ball 37% of the time. Yeah, a lot of that does come down to game script and stuff. But at the same time, like, what have we said on this podcast for the whole time we've been doing it?
Put a hat on a hat and follow the asses, my guy.
That, and give your playmakers the ball. Give your guys the ball. Let them run it. Like, yeah, it's just, it's crazy. And then they did rank the 8th in passing yards, but I mean, I would figure that they'd be much higher. calling 62% of their plays as passes. So the thing that surprised me when I was going over these statistics is how good their defense actually was last year. They're top half in every category. So I don't know. The Seahawks defense, I know they got, what was his name, Tyron Woodley over there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, I have no idea who's over there.
Yeah.
I just don't watch Seattle football enough, I guess.
Well, that's because their games don't start till 11 o'clock.
True, when
West
I'm
Coast stuff.
mad about the Browns losing, and yeah. So
yeah, we're already on COD by then. So it doesn't matter.
Angry.
The Browns lost. I'm losing in every fantasy matchup. I'm just done watching football for the day. So, but next we have the Arizona Cardinals. I added Fish's boy in here.
I know that guy.
Yeah, they did not do much over the offseason. They did sign some defensive players. They brought Calais Campbell back. They signed Akeem Gaither-Davis and then Josh Sweat as well. They didn't, honestly, when I was looking, I searched the word released. I searched the word traded. They didn't lose anybody. Nobody's gone. Nobody of note is gone, I should say. But they did re-sign some guys. They signed Zay Jones, cool. They signed Greg Dortch, cool. Trey McBride is the big thing here. 4-year, $76 million extension, $43 million guaranteed. Hopefully he gets more than one touchdown next year. But no, I think the Arizona Cardinals are in like a soft rebuild mode. I don't know if they're completely bought in on Kyler. It's been the narrative for how many years has Kyler been in the league?
What, 5, I think, already?
It's been the narrative for 5 years then. Because
in 2019, he was drafted.
Yeah.
Overall.
This will be his 6th season.
So there's another COD coming out in October. I mean,
Black Ops 7, baby.
Who knows what's going to happen there, but yeah, their performance. Sorry, I'll go back.
No, I was going to say, like, the additions is great. Joshua's going to do great. The linebackers, the end, great. Like, that's what they needed, right? Restructuring and signing Zay Jones and Greg Dortch. When was the last time you heard either of the names become relevant outside of one fantasy game that they popped off like 100 yards, 2 touchdowns?
Right.
So now we're focusing on, right, and honestly, it's not really Kyler's fault, right? Kyler's, you look at the trends the last couple of years, outside of the 1 year they had COD release, everybody kind of bullshit around. He has produced at a decent rate, right? He's been known to run it. He's doing well. He took that one nasty hit, but now he's starting to cut out of bounds and slide down, take the knee and stuff. Now we're relying on an aging James Conner. Trey Benson's back there, who hopefully, for fantasy-wise, takes the reins eventually. Give that man the rock. But then Marvin Harrison is the only receiver outside of their tight end, Trey McBride, that is going to receive the ball. Again, we're going to go back to the situation where we're going to have number one corner and a safety overshadowing Marvin, and we're going to lock him down. And then they're going to load the box, and James Conner's going to get locked down. And then McBride's going to get 120,000 yards. It's not Kyler's fault. You give him no weapons outside of Marvin Harrison and James Conner. Got to do something with that.
So Kyler last year, I got his stats pulled up real quick. He had a completion percentage of 68.8%. He threw for 3,851 yards, averaged 226.5 yards a game, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, was sacked 30 times. And, a rating of 93.5. Not bad at all, and he was second in the team on rushing with 572 yards. So he had over 4,000 scrimmage yards last year. You're 100% right, Fish. You've got Trey McBride with 1,146 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Did he have 2?
2. He had 2.
Holy crap, dude.
He almost had a garbage time last game or something. I don't remember that at all.
And then Marvin Harrison, second, with 885 yards. Now, Zay Jones, that was one of the names you mentioned. I already forgot. 84 yards last year. Who was the other guy? Because, again, already forgot.
Greg Dortch.
What was his name? 342 yards.
Wait, how much is Zay Jones making? He had 85 yards?
84 yards the entire
84
season.
Yards? Okay.
He only played 11 games.
What do you mean only 11 games? He had 84 yards in 11 games?
That's nuts, dude.
Brother, we could get that. It's like 10 yards a game. Less than that.
I'm 6'4". Reach the arms up there. Hey, Kyler can definitely see me, even though he's only 5'10". But
dude,
you're 100% right. They've got to give him more weapons because he's accurate, he's quick, he's shifty because he's a smaller quarterback, so he's fairly shifty.
I mean, they do have Michael Wilson as well. So
who?
Michael Wilson.
Yeah,
He had
548 yards. I'm just saying, you have two guys that make up most of your passing yards. Yeah, and the one only had 2 touchdowns the whole year.
Yeah, that's a crazy season for Trey McBride.
Trey McBride, though, did have 513 yards after the catch out of his 1,146. So that's
crazy.
Nice. Again, it just goes back to STEM, and it's not like the Zach Wilsons, the Sam Darnolds. It's not their fault, right? People are, and I've seen, and we've all heard it. People think that Kyler Murray is an ass quarterback. We don't really know because he isn't playing with anybody. You give him Marvin Harrison, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna, greatest thing ever." He did okay, but corners are gonna lock his ass down, no problem. Defensive, it's not college where you could over physical somebody or outrun somebody. It's a different ballgame when you get to the pros. It's so shitty that they're going to waste Kyler Murray's career like this, and he's going to go somewhere else like a Sam Darnold, and he's going to pop off.
Yep.
And it's 6 years wasted. They're probably going to drop him. The Cardinals going to go back to not a soft rebuild, but a full rebuild. And then Trey Benson is going to get shafted. I'm so pissed about it. It's unbelievable.
I don't know, dude. Have you seen Marvin Harrison this offseason?
Yeah, he gained like 90 pounds of muscle. He's terrifying.
Dude looks like he's going to moonlight as a D end. He's massive.
He's so
he is.
Why?
Maybe
Why
he is going to.
Why'd you get bigger? Why? Oh, it's crazy.
Maybe Larry Fitzgerald will come out of retirement for him.
Oh, my God. That guy's like 50 by now, right?
You get more than 84 yards in 11 games. I'll tell you what. You know who could? Hooper. Hooper can get more than 84 yards in 11 games. It is absurd that they restructured and re-signed him.
Shout out to the kid that played Hooper. I have no idea who you are, but
he's 41.
Fitzgerald's only 41.
41.
Man, I'm shocked. I thought he would at least be 45.
No.
How many years ago did he play?
2020 was his last season.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, it wasn't that long ago. I figured it was longer.
COVID just blurred the lines of time.
Yeah, big time.
Let's be honest.
But yeah, looking at their 2024 performance, you've got, the offensive categories aren't bad. You would like to see the passing category up a little bit, but based off what we just said with Greg Dortch getting 84 yards on the year.
No, it was Zay.
Greg Dortch
had like 300.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, was Zay hurt most of the year last year, though?
He played 11 games, man.
He played 11 games.
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't matter if he's hurt or not. He played 11 games.
I forgot you saying that. Anyways, their defensive stats, we said it last year, they weren't the greatest defensive team. But you like to see that they have made some moves to kind of counteract those, bring some other stars in with Budda Baker. So hopefully the Cardinals can turn it around, because shout out fantasy footballers. I love it when the Cardinals are playing well, and then I get to listen to their podcast and they're happier with what's going on in the season. But
we're like 2/3 happy over here.
Yeah. 2/3 happy, 1/3 misery. But their offensive play call ratio, called pass plays, 59% of the time. You just have to guess that's because they were behind. And then they ran it 41% of the time, which is actually, I think, second most on the list for. Well, we haven't talked about the 49ers yet, but I think out of these 4 teams, it's second most.
That doesn't include scrambles from Kyler, right? That's strictly, hey, we're gonna run the rock this play, right?
That's a good question.
If that's the case, because Kyler scrambled a shit ton last year. Now, James Conner was very good at running. He did average almost near 100 yards, it seems like, every game that he played. But I would be curious if that was also, hey, we're going to go ahead and throw it. Wait, JK, I'm going to run it for 4 yards.
That's a really good point. I'm not sure how that breaks down. I'll have to look into that, and I'll have an answer for that next week.
Yeah.
What is out here brainstorming? That's it.
Out here brainstorming. Then we have
I
the
see the
all the
smoke coming
veggies.
out of your ears. It's
All the
working
veggies,
hard.
man.
surprising last team in the division, who was in the Super Bowl the year before, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they were. I think it was a really, really, really bad hangover.
Yeah. We have the 49ers, the injured team themselves. Now, outside of the team, they didn't do anything. No notable additions. They just extended the guys that they have and then let Debo go.
They didn't need to do anything. That team on
That
paper
team's
is already
very
stacked.
good. Yeah.
It's
Jordan
already
Mason's also
stacked.
gone. He went to the
Oh, yeah.
somebody.
Good point. Jordan Mason's also gone.
Yeah, he went to the Vikings.
Right. That's right. But you see that they re-signed Fred Warner. They gave an extension to Fred Warner, gave an extension to Brock Purdy, an extension to George Kittle, which George Kittle's extension is 4 years, and I believe he's about 30. So that's pretty optimistic there. But yeah, Debo's the big loss there. They traded him away for a 2025 5th-round pick from the Commanders.
Yeah, he wanted to go though, so it's fine.
Yeah,
He was tweeting way too much.
yeah.
George Kittle's 31, by the way. He'll
George
be
Kittle's
32.
31. Wow.
He'll be 32 in October. So
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't use all he's got, because he's got a good WWE run coming after his career. I'm telling you, boys. He's very exciting.
following in Pat McAfee's footsteps.
Yep, exactly.
Look, the biggest thing with the 49ers, and we talked about it a lot last year, was how hurt they were.
Injuries.
If they can stay healthy, they're going to do well. They have a very good team. Like we just said, they're stacked. They just got absolutely demolished by the injury bug. I mean, it was more like an injury assassin at that point.
True.
I think they at the end of the season they were on their like 4th string running back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but
Patrick
about plays team, it didn't matter because that running back is still averaging 94 carries and 100,000 yards.
I remember I said it very clearly. I remember it clearly. I pick Isaac Garendo, put him in there, and he.
No, that guy's a sack of shit. Let me tell you, he cost me my fantasy, my championship.
Oh, man. No, but you can see how productive they were on offense. Top 14 in every category. The thing that surprises me the most about the 49ers' performance from 2024, they're 29th in the league at points allowed. So you got to think, man, like they switched that up. I know they were missing Hufanga a lot last year. Greenlaw was out for most of the year with that horrible Achilles tear he had in the Super Bowl. And like, I mean, you already said it. Like they had so many injuries. Bosa had a lingering injury. Everybody had an injury. So
imagine if they get that from 25.6 points per game and get it down to 22, what they wouldn't have finished 4-13.
Yeah, they were 6-11 this year, and 1-5 in the division.
Yep.
I mean, that's anyone listening, right? Everyone that's listening, this
Huge
is
swing.
not going to happen again.
No.
Okay, it'll be them and the Rams going top. Probably San Fran takes it over. I mean, these stats are absurd for a team that went 6-11.
Yeah, for offensive wise, yeah, absolutely.
It's just going to be a scary team, and it sucks ass, but they're going to be terrifying.
Yeah, and then sorry, go ahead.
I'm really surprised at their play call ratio, with how stacked their running back room was, and they only called run plays 35% of the time.
Yeah, well, you got to think that's a lot of. If they're giving up 25.6 points a game, it's probably a lot of like game script. Brock's got to throw it. Ayuk's down there somewhere. Debo's pissed off on the sideline.
Ayuk tore his ACL, so someone else is down
Jawan
there
Jennings, Ricky Pearsall give him the ball. So
Ricky Pearsall, he's also going to be.
He's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
I
saw clips of that catch he made when he was at Florida, where he just goes like this and snags it.
Yeah,
it was insane.
He's going to be a
lot of target share. A lot of target shares, though.
Yeah. A lot of target shares gone with Debo being out. So I think you do see a big uptick for Ricky. Not a lot of people are talking about Jawan Jennings, but I think he also sees a big upswing in his targets for
Well, because
2025.
when's Ayuk scheduled to come back?
I'm not sure. I was looking at that and I forgot to write it down.
Because I'm assuming, right, that he would miss the first month and a half again. Because they're gonna work him. They just gave him the contract extension that he wanted. They're gonna slowly work him back into it. You see Jennings and Pearsall probably take flight in the first 6 games. There's no one else to throw to, unless CMC's happy and healthy and Kittle's there. But I don't know. I don't see them rushing Ayuk back.
Yeah, week
No,
7
there's no need.
is when he had the injury. So he tore ACL, MCL, meniscus.
But he's out for
And
12 years.
He's probably going to be out until about week 7 this coming year.
They don't have a return date for him. They say a week 1 return is possible, which I don't. There's no need to rush him back. Let him take his time. Let him, heal properly and get that extra work in to make sure he's 100% instead of being like 75 and then go back out there, have a great game or two, and then just, get re-injured again. They probably put him on the PUP.
Yeah.
Start the season.
Which, if you're on the PUP, you can't come in until week 7. Is that correct?
6 or 7, yeah, one of the two.
He
missed
may
him up
get
there.
traded between then and now.
They said that. Where is that article?
No one's going to want to eat that contract and him coming back.
Yeah, the Niners are very happy with his progress, and they do not regret his contract extension at all.
Well, they're going to say that.
Yeah, they're not going to be like, "Yo, this sucks, dude."
Yeah, Jim Irsay's gone.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. No one's going to be that candid anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I just he's done well, and I think they'll keep him around.
I hope that they do, because he's fun to watch there with Brock. So
Maybe he'll go to the Seahawks. They've been this division's been doing a lot of interdivisional movement. So
true. Yeah.
Gabe Davis is still out there. You guys remember him?
Who?
Shout out
Another
Nicely.
Dave Jones.
Shout out Jordan Nicely. But yeah, we have our tier list coming up next with the rest of this podcast. So what this is going to look like, we have icons for each of the teams. We're just going to rank the teams as we see fit going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and start off here. Quarterback, easily going to be the Niners. So next, you have Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, or Matt Stafford. And I think Stafford probably takes that.
Yeah.
I know he's old, but yeah, I'll go
Jay's
Stafford
consistent.
next.
Stafford, Darnold, Murray.
Stafford, Darnold, then Murray.
I think so. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I think Darnold and Murray. It could be just because Darnold's, it's like I said, it's a coin flip with him. Like he could just regress and just be absolutely terrible.
100%.
Whereas Kyler has been consistent, but I think they're probably about even instead of one in front of the other.
Now, I would give this next category, this is the running back category, I'm going to give this to Seattle.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I think Seattle. I think Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet together, I think that they're probably going to be better than... maybe Kyron Williams.
I just had to...
I was going to say, Kyron, look, when CMC is healthy, nationally, right? And honestly, you could plug in any of those 4 running backs or 15 running backs that they have on roster. You could plug one of the 3 of us in, and we'll still rush for 100 yards a game.
I gotta go with the 49ers, man.
I think the 49ers take it, but I think it's very close with the Rams because Kyron Williams is that dangerous, not only running the ball, but also pass catching as well. And they haven't really gotten Blake Corum in full swing yet.
No.
He broke his forearm, right? Towards the end of the season too, or something like that. So he did great in college. We know that doesn't transition over a lot of the times too, but I would say it's almost the same sequence here. I get your Walker and Charbonnet standpoint, and yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. It's just a healthy CMC, healthy Kyron beats those two.
So are we going CMC first?
A healthy CMC. If the rosters are healthy, it's got to be a CMC, and then any running back that they have behind because of the game scheme that they have.
Okay.
Which they were proven.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But then I still think Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet should be second. I know Kyron's good, but
put him a second then. Don't forget about James Conner though.
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough
next
group.
Are interchangeable. I mean, if you're going to go with that one, then yeah, put that.
We'll do
James
that.
Conner. It's very, very close though.
Yeah, we got to look past the starter for these. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Like Blake Corum, like you said, yeah, he could be great in the NFL. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I saw last year. I remember, his rookie year, and he spent a lot of time on the sidelines with the tablet in his hands, like studying and learning, and watching him in college, watching him at Michigan. That dude, he waits for the play to develop before he just rushes in there. I think, he's a little bit he's on the smaller side. He's pre-draft. He was 5'7" and 3/4 and only 205 pounds. But I mean, he's built like a brick shit house and he runs hard as hell. I give him another year or two, and I think he's gonna have a breakout year, and because Kyron's gonna get hurt, and then we'll see Blake Corum come out, and then it's gonna be who's gonna be the Rams running back?
There's no point in rushing Blake Corum into the starting roster either when Kyron is only 24. There's no need to rush him.
Right.
Yeah, then that's what I'm saying. Is like they're going to give him time. Kyron's going to go down, and then it's going to be Blake's time to shine, and he's going to be like, all right, here's what I can do. And it's going to be like, oh, well, now he can run too. And then either, it's going to be a two-headed monster, or it's who's going to be the main guy.
For this next one,
could be bias.
For O-line, I think it's got to go 49ers just because of Trent Williams.
We're not seeing the people that are watching and listening, right? If we're not seeing the trend, the 49ers are probably going to have most of these categories.
Probably, yes. I would say so.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely they take the O-line one now. Next, I think that the Rams and the Cardinals are interchangeable. I would probably go with the Rams above the Cardinals. But historically, the Seahawks offensive line has been bad. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks O-line for the last one, but I'll give the edge to the Rams for the offensive line position there. Now we have an exciting one. This is more fantasy relevant. Wide receivers.
Gotta be LA. LA goes first.
Got to be LA. I agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's got to be San Fran.
Yep.
We're
on the same. Name the next one.
Seattle.
And next one, Cardinals. Damn it. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's got to be
Seattle.
And as good as Marvin Harrison Jr. is, he still hasn't proven anything yet.
He's one guy.
True. Yeah.
It's they're throwing to him and a tight end.
Yeah.
Whereas you've at least got you've got options at Seattle.
Which, speaking of tight ends, who are we putting first? Are we going McBride or are we going Kittle?
You go McBride?
I think it's a coin flip.
I think it's Kittle.
It's definitely a coin flip. I would feel more comfortable putting McBride knowing that he's not going to tweak a hamstring like Kittle has in the past.
How many yards did Kittle have last year? I know he had more touchdowns, but
yeah, it's a lot easier to get more than 2. 1,106.
Oh man, that's a lot of yards.
Yep.
I would put Kittle up there. I like Kittle too. I'm go with Kittle.
And he missed 2 games.
These two are so close though.
There he is.
Those two are so close, and I think George or Noah Fant goes next, and then whoever the Rams have.
Yeah. Who is it? Higbee still?
It used to be Higbee. I don't know if it's still Higbee. Gerald Everett, the Gerald Everett Project.
They got some guy that's like 6'8", I think. There.
It's Higbee.
Is it Higbee still?
It's Higbee.
Who else do they have?
Colby
Parkinson's the guy you're thinking of.
Terrence Ferguson is their number 2.
I don't know who that is. No, just kidding.
Wait, the guy from Dallas?
No, he's a rookie this year.
Oh, okay.
Terrence Ferguson.
From the Ducks.
And then we have corners. So I think this one definitely goes to Seattle just because of Tyron Woodley.
He's 6'4" and runs like a 4.3 40.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Give him
Oh,
everything.
fast.
Give him everything.
But after that, I'm trying to look at the rosters here while I'm also navigating our tier list.
Come on.
Or Tyreek Woolen is his name. I don't know who Tyron Woodley is. But anyways, despite that fact, it's still the Seahawks for number one. And then two, I think you got to put the Niners just because of Diamador Lenore. He's not locked down, but he's very, very good.
Dude, Tyron Woodley's an MMA fighter.
Tyron Woodley's the MMA fighter?
I think he fought one of the Paul brothers, didn't
he?
He
fought Jake Paul. I think so, yeah. Fought. Don't sue me, Jake Paul, I'm sorry.
Let me do it. Whatever.
I'd love to watch that.
And then I'm over here looking at rosters for the Cardinals and the Rams, and I couldn't tell you. Denzel Burke, rookie from Ohio State for the Cardinals.
I would assume it would be LA and the Cardinals.
Will Johnson for the Cardinals.
Who?
He's from Michigan.
He was a rookie last year.
Yeah, I guess I'll defer to that. You said, what did you say, Fish? Go who and then who?
LA, then Cardinals.
Yeah.
LA, then Cardinals. All right, I'll go with that. All right, for safeties, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals for Budda Baker.
Oh.
He's one of the best safeties in the league still at his ripe old age of whatever he is. Oh, he's only 29. I thought he was older than that.
He's still old.
He's younger than you.
True. Yeah. Don't remind me. But I would have put the Niners next if they still had Hufanga, but they do not anymore. So I think we got to go with Seattle with Kobe Bryant. Not that Kobe Bryant, different Kobe Bryant.
The guy from UC?
Yeah. It's been pretty good, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
You're just a homer.
Could be. But yeah, my defensive player knowledge is not completely there, so I apologize if I'm making a huge mistake. Let me know in the comments. But who else we have? We have the Rams and the Niners. Cameron Curl, he's pretty good, hard hitter.
Jair Brown for the Niners. He's questionable.
I guess I'll go with LA and then San Fran. I don't know. But D-line and linebackers, I think we already know who to go with for these two. D-line, I'm going to go with... well, I'm not sure now.
I'd still go with that.
For D-line, you'd go with the Rams?
Yep.
Yeah, the only reason I was kind of wondering is because of Bosa. The edge rusher.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know he was an edge
rusher. Is that what he does?
Watching football for 30 years, but yeah, I just think Fisk and Verse there, they showcase what they could do is just gonna get better. Bosa's kind of, I mean, he's good, very good still, but
yeah,
he's no Myles Garrett,
baby. True.
He's no Myles Garrett.
He's no Myles Garrett.
He does chase the money though, but he doesn't proclaim that I'm not in for the money, and then takes the money. So,
third place.
They just drafted that young kid too. Williams from Georgia. The Niners did.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Third, I think we're gonna go with Seattle just because of DeMarcus Lawrence is there, and then I know that the Cardinals made a lot of changes for their defense over the offseason, but I think they're probably still at the end there, but it's a little bit tighter than the other categories here.
They got that guy from Philly. Yeah, they got that guy from Philly. Josh Sweat's pretty good.
Yeah, Milton Williams is taking a big shit over the Patriots camp. I guess they hate that contract. So, sorry, our bad.
Albert Hazer 2.0. Last but not least, we have linebackers. I don't think we're even going to do special teams. What do you guys think? Kickers aren't people.
Look, the 49ers guy is the last. Even though he's a Michigan guy, he missed a bunch of field goals last year.
That's true. Yeah. Linebackers, I think you got to go San Fran. Fred Warner's just balling out. He's crazy.
Got that extension.
Next, I think you go LA.
Yep.
And then Seattle, and then Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And then just for kicks and giggles, we'll go San Fran. You said San Fran last, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jake Moody was extremely inconsistent last year.
We're not doing special teams. This is our list. So by our math, Cardinals are going to be last. Niners are going to be first.
Hey, just so at the O-line spot, right? I had said is a common trend that was Niners did not put them in first in the majority of the category. All except for linebackers, the only time that we put them in first outside of that. It's just interesting to look at how we value certain teams.
What would you change?
Oh, nothing. I think what we have said was good. It's just quarterback, running back, O-line. You said, okay, clearly the 49ers haven't really added anybody. Debo, detriment. The team is crazy. But then we go to receivers, tight ends. And they are second in 4 out of the 5, 6 categories.
Yeah.
But ever since I said something, we did not list them until the linebacker.
Yeah, there's no Niners bias here.
It's interesting. It was just interesting to see how are the 49ers really as stacked as what we thought.
Yeah,
according to this, it's interesting to look at.
No, it is for sure.
That's on their way in, yeah.
But just off of looking at it, my initial thoughts are Niners win, Arizona loses, and then Rams, Seahawks, it's probably 50-50. Yeah.
Just like last year. Like, again, we bring it up time and time again. If the Niners aren't hurt, their record switched, and I think every other team's record's the same.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, if the Niners weren't hurt and they did flip-flop their record to 11-6, they would have won the division.
Yep.
Because the division winner had 10-7. So it's a good
loss in the playoffs. Yeah.
Good thing to think about. So yeah, that's our list. We are going to close out this show. We are at an hour, and then we're going to go record Friday Funday.
I like it.
Fun Day Friday.
Friday Funday. Okay.
It's a working title.
Wow.
Look, have a safe and happy 4th of July. Don't blow any fingers off or
absolutely
limbs.
Or if you do, get the Billy Club, like the
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Get the
JPP.
Bring down, throw the
Jason
flipper.
Pierre-Paul yourself, folks.
But that's what I got.
Has CTE kicked in at the wrong time? He held on to that longer, like release it.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna prep for the next show, and then always CGG. Thanks for being a gent. Hope you guys enjoy seeing us twice a week. So see you later.
Bye.
Hey guys. Bye.